Hi, here is how I would solve puzzle number 2. And this is, we're trying to identify the weight. So we're going to factor this out. We're going to set it to 0, factor it, and then we're going to multiply the factors that we find. Okay, or I should say the two numbers in the solution, but you'll find that it actually will be the same thing. So let's go for it. So let's go ahead and set this equal to 0. Oops. Okay. So let's set it to 0. And then first thing I'm going to do is I see that they're all even numbers. So I'm going to factor out a 2. So when I factor out a 2, I'll do it in a different color just to show you. I'm going to actually divide the whole thing by 2. Okay. And when I factor out a 2, whatever you factor out, put it aside and then divide the rest. So what's left over is I have 2x squared divided by 2. So I'm going to have x squared minus 52x divided by 2. And that's going to be 26x. And then half of 330 is 165. Okay, equals 0. So now I have a basic trinomial, and I am going to do the product sum game to find the factors. So the product sum game, I'm going to multiply two numbers to get to 165. I'm going to add them to get to 26. Now I'm going to tell you something. I took this number and I wrote it into Google. I Googled it. I wrote factors of 165 into the search bar, and I pressed enter, and I got lots of different factors. And I would urge you to do the same thing, especially when you have large numbers, because it's a lot of trial by error. When I did that, I ended up finding these factors. 1 and 165. Well, 2 is not a factor because it's odd, but 3 times 55 works. 4 doesn't work because it's not even. 5 times 33 works. But remember, I'm trying to combine to 26. So, could that work? I'm trying to get positive 26. No. And then I have the next one, which is 11 and 15. Well, I think this one looks pretty good because it's positive, and I'm just adding these. So these are both going to be positive. And there is my, there's my answer there. Okay. So when I add these two numbers, I get 26. So I'm going to rewrite this whole trinomial in its factored form. So I'm going to have x plus 11 and x plus 15. And I'm going to erase this, so I have a little room, equals 0. So now I'm going to factor everything because I said the product, multiply the two numbers in the solution. Okay, so I'm going to factor this, and maybe you already know the answer. Some of you may. Well, 2, if I set everything to 0, is not equal to 0, so that's not going to work anyway. But x plus 11 is 0, and x plus 15 is 0. Move everything to the other side, and then I end up with x is negative 11, or x is negative 15. So the question is asking me, when I factored the function, that was the first step, I multiply now the two numbers in the solution. So I have basically negative 11 times negative 15. And whatever that answer is the total weight. When you multiply 11 by 15, well, we actually already knew the answer. And it was right here because I ended up factoring this out. So I'm going to just erase this. So basically now I'm doing the two, because remember the solution set is this, negative 15, negative 11. I'm going to multiply those two numbers together. 16, I meant 11. 11 times 15 is 165. And if I multiply two negative numbers, I'm going to get a positive answer. So all of this means that the weight of our helper, the Magus, is going to be 165. Okay, so I just solved another of my clues. Nice job.